What's good, y'all? My name is Coleman, and welcome to Livin N Perspective. Today, I'm here with a good friend of mine, Davaris. He's someone who supported me a lot through my journey.
Sir.
And so I'm going to let him go ahead, share the world, you know who you are.
Yes, sir. Well, first, thank you, my brothers, for having me on the episode. My name is Davaris Cheeks. Most people know me as DC. Currently, I work as the director for the Chapman Center at Concordia St. Paul. 23, I'll be 24 this upcoming week. Birthday coming up.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Originally from Aurora, Illinois. It's a suburb like 45 minutes west of Chicago. And done a lot of different things. I played college football for 5 years here at Concordia in Minnesota. I was a student body president my senior year. I got my bachelor and my master's from here, first in my family to graduate. President of Black Student Union for a year, worked with the NCAA for a couple of years, and really just, living to serve. Want to help everybody out that I can, use my platforms to, encourage the next person. I gotta see my dog walk across that stage next, you feel me? So, yeah, it's a pleasure to be on, bro.
Busy man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll start the podcast by asking you, what is your story?
Man, my story. Honestly, like, the story has been crazy because, like, where I grew up, it was pretty rough, bro, to be honest. Like, growing up outside of Chicago, like, it's not the city, like, it's not Chirac and the rep that it gets, but, nothing far from living underneath the poverty line, living check to check. My parents split when I was 7, so being in a one-parent household for majority of my childhood, gun violence, police, sirens all the time, funerals all the time. Like, that was just the normal for me. So didn't come up on a lot of money or nothing like that. But my particular story, I mean, I got 5 older sisters, so I'm the only boy in my family, and I'm the youngest. So it felt a lot of isolation in the things that I was going through, especially with my parents and stuff like that. But really, like, everything turned because when my parents split, I was going back and forth between both of the households. So, like, I'm chilling with my moms throughout the week, taking care of her, playing sports, doing good in school. And then over the weekend, I would go chill with my pops. And the way that my city is set up, like, it's split by a river. So there's the east side and the west side of town. And my pops moved to the east side, which is kind of like a little bit more dangerous and stuff like that. So when I would go over there over the weekends, I started, like, becoming a part of that environment. Like, I would chill with the people that was affiliated with gangs, and like, that sort of became like my step family and stuff. So got caught up in it in 7th grade. I actually got arrested for stealing from a local convenience store, and then 2 days later, I got suspended from school for stealing from one of my classmates. So after both of those things happened, bro, like, I just flipped my whole life. Like, I really felt like a clear choice. Like, I can keep going down this path, or I can change it into what I want to make it. So that's when I started to become the DC that most people know, like 4.0 student. I played 3 sports, all 4 years of high school. And I got very serious about my education, and I just wanted to not be a product of the environment that I was growing up in. So that's why, like, a lot of people look at me as like a trailblazer and stuff. But I give glory to God. Like, I found Christ when I came to college here. Concordia is like a Christian school, so I was introduced into my faith, and now, like, everything that I do and that I have, like, I give to Him. But nonetheless, like, that's really my story, and I know that there's a lot of people that come from environments similar to me. So I really live to, like, inspire the next people and let everybody know, like, especially Black folks, like, you don't have to be a product of the society or the environment or the expectations everybody put onto us, you know what I'm saying? And I try to be a living example of that. And I know I'm the first in my family to do a lot of things, so I'm hoping to continue that path for others.
Right. I think that's great. Like, having that awareness at, you said 7th grade, where you could like determine that this isn't the road that you want to keep going. And I feel like at that age, there's not a lot of times where you have that judgment call.
Yeah.
And for you to make that judgment call at that young of age.
Yeah, I was 12. Like, you know how many 12-year-olds there are right now, bro, that's playing video games and not worried about all of that stuff. And honestly, like, I go visit my hometown sometimes, and I see the folks that, like, I was chilling with, and they got tattoos on their face. They working at McDonald's. They're doing the same stuff still, and they 20. You know what I'm saying? So it really is like a conscious choice that you got to make, so that you don't feel like the environment and the people, like the older cousins in your family, like that doesn't have to be your life. Like you can have a different trajectory than everybody else around you, but you got to make that choice for yourself. And that's sometimes the hardest part, especially if you don't got no influence around you or like a blueprint to show you that it's possible, you know what I'm saying? Which at that time, I didn't. Like sports was kind of my escape, you know what I'm saying? Like coaches pouring into me, you know, some of my teammates that was on a better path had more of a structure with their families and stuff. I started to just get into new environments and chill with people that, you know, had their head on straight versus, you know, where I was at before. So, yeah.
Okay. So you talked about isolation and, you know, going through the patch of your parents splitting. And so there's a lot of inconsistency there and also playing sports as well. Can you talk to me about what perfection means to you? We obviously chase this idea of perfection, obviously playing sports and just striving for goals. But obviously we kind of know it's a really hard goal to reach. So what can you explain what perfection looks like to you?
Yeah, man. And I don't know if this is like a faith-based podcast by any means, but I identify as a Christian man. So I for the longest time, bro, and this is another part of my story as well, like I was chasing that. I was chasing perfection until I found my faith. Like Christ, like Jesus Christ was the perfect man and he lived the perfect life. So I realized like I will never be Jesus Christ. Like I'm never going to reach that. And that's why like I was able to find my faith and like come to him broken and things like that. But I won't preach to y'all today.
He can get down to
right. You know, I could go down that route, but that's gonna be another episode. However, so the relationship with my pops when I was growing up, right? I'm his only son. Like he has me and my two older sisters are his daughters. So he has 3 children. Being his only son, my pops, he goes by the nickname of Donnie Mac.
Okay.
And Mac stands for man always capable, MAC. So being his only son, like he instilled that in me when I was like 3, bro. Like I've been hearing that since came out the womb pretty much. And like he told me like you're a man always capable because of how hard you work. So for the longest time, like there were so many people that doubted me, like especially in sports, bro. Like I was a skinny kid and I was a hooper for majority of my life. But once I started playing football, like I was getting hurt and stuff like that. Like it was tough to realize that I had a chance to go to college. Like that was the only way out. Like my family didn't have no money for college or nothing like that. So if I was gonna make it out of the city, sports. So being a man always capable allowed me to just like go into my books. And like when I got to college and played college football, like the coaches, when they were recruiting me, they told me, we want you because of like your attitude, because of how hard you work, because of your grades. Like it wasn't because I was running the fastest 40 time or nothing like that. And that was literally because like the man always capable mindset of like chasing that perfection, but it was the chase that I got caught up in. So I feel like once I got to college, the mindset flipped for me because it was like I'm no longer chasing this perfection that's never going to be achieved. You know what I'm saying? Like if you chase perfection, then the grace for yourself goes away. Like you're never going to reach it. So then you're constantly going to be feeling failure versus like being like 1% better than you were yesterday will allow you to like see progress. Like 23-year-old DC was not what I envisioned in my head when I was 16, 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? So there's no like end goal to that of like perfection. Obviously, I got goals and dreams and things I want to chase for myself, but it's like if I'm chasing this perfect image, then I'm never gonna reach it, and I'm always gonna be like hard on myself in a certain way. So I think that like with the man always capable mindset, that allowed me to see, especially like when I came to faith, that like man is not always capable, and that's okay. Like it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to drop the ego. It's okay to not be perfect. Like because once you start giving yourself that grace, then you can like sharpen the areas that you need it. You can get poured into in the areas that other people, mentors, you know, big brothers, like, you know, my guys, Javon, like, you know, but have genuine conversations with people that might have it more figured out than me so that I can progress versus like, I'm chasing perfection. I'm going to do it myself type of thing. So hopefully that answered your question.
It did. Yeah. So that man always capable, obviously chasing that. Does it ever get hard? Like, is it, talk more about that?
Yeah, not anymore. I think, especially as a kid, like it was really hard because I was like that emotional crash out kid on the basketball court, because it was like I had such high expectations for myself, especially because, so the second part of this story is like my parents were split. I'm bouncing back and forth between homes. I go to jail and stuff like that in the 7th grade. I do really good from that point on. My freshman year of high school, I was at football camp. So this is before school even started. My pops, he came to my football camp. I wasn't expecting him to come there because I stopped going to his house and stuff like that after everything happened. He came to my first day of football camp. So I couldn't even focus. I'm dropping passes. You feel me? Like, I'm like, why is my pops here? And he came up to me. He was like, "Yeah, son, I'm actually leaving." I was like, "What you mean?" He said, "I'm moving to Cleveland, Ohio." And I'm thinking, like, that's what's up. Like, I know he wanted to make it out of the city too. But I asked him why, and he said, "There's nothing left for me in Aurora anymore." And when I was 14, I didn't know what that meant. But I felt it after he left, because now me and my mom's got to do everything. Like, I got to work. Like, I got to get a job just to have some money. Like, he wasn't paying child support. Like, it was one of them, like, typical Black stories of, like, father not present. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I had a lot of resentment towards him after that. Like, that was what was fueling my fire. It wasn't man always capable. It was, I want to be better than the man that he was and is. And that's what like propelled me to like do so well, work so hard, beat the odds. You know what I'm saying? So I think with the man always capable mindset, it shifted for me, because at first it was like an inspirational thing for my pops. But once I had resentment towards my pops, it turned into more of like, I don't want to be like how he is. Like, I want to be able to support my family. I want to be able to, you know, like do things that have never been done, and like get good grades, make it to college. You know what I'm saying? So I think with that, like, there became very tough days because my fuel was from a negative place. Like, rage is built into that, like sadness is built into that. And that's why like I was constantly in and out of relationships, because now I'm looking for a companion to fill those voids that my pops had put in my life. You know what I'm saying? Mom, she was struggling with like alcohol and drugs and stuff. So it's like I didn't really have support when it came to the voids that I had to fill. So yeah, bro, to answer your question, like it was dark. It was dark at that time. But once I kind of like surrendered all of that, like honestly, faith is the biggest component, but it was also just like people, you know what I'm saying? Like people that I could look at as a positive example in my life, or like finding like healthier outlets to fill those voids instead of like looking for fulfillment in a relationship or sports, where sometimes sports will let you down quick. You get a bad practice or something, bro, like
that changes your whole mindset.
Your whole mindset for the rest of the week is cooked. So it's like I just had to start finding my fulfillment in things that have more like sustainability for me.
Okay. So that kind of leads into my next question. How do you feel about therapy in the Black community? Because obviously growing up, at least from my like perspective or experience, like therapy wasn't really pushed on me. And I witnessed other people also mention that like therapy isn't really their thing. Maybe some people are told, you know, God is just go talk to God, that's your therapy or stuff like that. So, you know, can you talk about how therapy is looked at upon the Black community?
Yeah, that's a good question. I got a couple of things on this. First of all, I'm never gonna steer anybody away from therapy. I think the caveat to that is that therapy is almost like dating. Like, you might go to therapy and you and your therapist don't really hit it off, and then you feel like, therapy isn't for me. Versus if you would have had a great experience with your therapist, now it might really be the thing that you go to. So you kind of have to shop around with therapy, and it's expensive. That's another thing. Some people can't find affordable therapy, so like I always encourage you, like, look into your insurance if you have it, and go into the resources that are provided through your insurance. Because if you start shopping around, it's going to add up pretty quick. Those are two things. I think specifically in the Black community, especially as a Black man, it's always pushed on us as like, you're tough. Like, you like, stop crying, stop being a baby, like, deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Sharp skin or whatever. But that's honestly like, I think the strongest men that I've ever met in my life are the ones that are the most vulnerable. And the ones that are like tapped in with their emotions. So it's just this like society expectation that's make us have this tough guy attitude, especially Black men, because now it's like you got to provide for your family, you got to do this and that, and it's really men in general. Black women, shoot, they really the soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Like having to, you know, like always getting categorized as aggressive and things like that. Like, if we had more of a normal to tap in with our emotions and really ask ourselves and like heal, like some people say like time heals all wounds, but I think time honestly affects those wounds more, especially when the wounds aren't treated. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't treat the wounds that you have, or like the battle scars, the trauma in your life, then time is gonna make those things worse. So it's really not like a waiting game, or like, some outlets can be better. So I encourage therapy for sure. I think I've had good experiences with therapists, especially in different seasons of my life where I felt like I needed it. And I know it really isn't for everybody. So I definitely encourage like healthy outlets. One thing about the faith stuff, I think sometimes people use that as like not a cop out, because I'm not going to doubt God and his strength, but like oh, like just pray about it. Oh, like, like God got you. You know what I'm saying? But faith without action is dead. That's biblical. So you could pray about it and give it to God, but you got to act on that faith too. You gotta listen to the conviction that he's giving you to do what you need to do to get out of that hole. I'm gonna keep the preaching session right there. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's just some of the misconceptions that I feel like people get caught up in sometimes. That can deter them from actually like getting help. Yeah,
I definitely do think therapy is definitely overlooked. Maybe as in like it's not needed, because sometimes people don't believe it's worth it.
Right.
Exactly. So I agree with at least trying to find a healthy outlet instead of the just sitting there hoping things will get better or the time will heal our wounds. So
yeah, and then one more thing to that too. Therapy doesn't have to be weekly, y'all. Like sometimes you go to therapy because you think therapy is gonna be the quick fix. Therapy is a long game. Like you go to therapy when you on your highest high, when you get that new job or whatever. You still go to therapy, because then it's like you're creating this normal practice of taking care of yourself, versus like I need to go to therapy right now because I'm going through it. It's the same with anything. It's going to take some time to build a relationship with your therapist so that they can really understand. It's good to have somebody that doesn't have bias and know your background, but somebody can't know you in an hour. You know what I'm saying? But doing it like once a month, also too, like the price, like, you feel me? It's expensive to do weekly therapy. So if you do once a month, then hopefully your therapist will give you like some things that you can do until the next meeting, so that you really are pouring into yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's another thing too, when it's like, it feels like too much of a commitment, or, that's for whoever. Like it honestly, like I wouldn't knock it until you try it, because if you feel like you got some emotional things that you got to work through, the therapy can definitely help for sure.
Agreed. All right. So next question. How difficult is it to let go of the past when you're looking into the future?
That's a good question, my boy. That's good. How difficult is it to let go of the past when you're looking into the future? My first reaction to that, bro, I think letting go of the past is a big thing in itself.
Right.
I think sometimes we feel like our past can define us. And granted, I wouldn't change my story for a lick of it. Like if I could have avoided all of the, getting arrested and stuff, yeah, sure. But it honestly like changed my entire mindset. It made me more appreciative of things. So I think using the past as like a propeller instead of an anchor is just a mindset shift. Like you don't gotta just let the past go all the time. Like if you can just learn from your mistakes and really like use your past to grow, it does in a certain sense define who you are, if you allow it to. But if you allow your past to hold you back from who you want to be, that's where it becomes a problem. I think when you're looking into the future, it can almost be like daunting, like I think I might have to take credit for this quote unless somebody else said it. But there was one like TikTok motivational thing I was doing, and I said, don't let the past haunt you and your future taunt you. Feel me? Like, don't let the past haunt you to the point where you are holding yourself back from your future, and don't let the future taunt you and like make you nervous or scared to take those steps or chase your dreams and goals. Like, don't let the future be so daunting and like scary to the point where you like, nah, I'm not going to start this business. Nah, I'm not going to start writing this book. Nah, I'm not going to start this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's a mindset in front of both of those things that has really helped me, because the past was like limiting. Like I felt like the past was not going to allow me to ever do some of the things that I've been able to do. But it wasn't until I just changed my mindset. I didn't forget about it, but I just used it as learning lessons so that I know, like, another thing from football: smart, dumb, and wise. Okay. If you're dumb, then you make a mistake and you don't learn from it. If you're smart, you make a mistake and you learn from it. If you're wise, you learn from other people's mistakes so that you don't even have to make them in the first place.
Okay.
So I feel like when you relate that to your past, it's like, okay, use other people around you as learning lessons as well, but also be smart and learn from your mistakes so that they don't happen again. But mistakes are going to happen and they're going to happen in the future. So it's more about having this mindset of like equipping yourself so when the mistake does happen, you're good, you're ready. You're not letting yourself fall into a pit just because you made one mistake. Like, you're human, it's going to happen. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my take on that. I think I would just caution y'all, it's not always about letting the past go. It's just about making sure that the past isn't holding you back from who you want to be or who you truly are. Because I feel like at the end of the day, we all know the version of ourselves that makes us the most fulfilled and like who we want to be. But I think there's certain things that might hold us back, whether it's past tense or future tense, that aren't allowing you to step into that, you know, or even present tense. Some people, I'm gonna clock somebody here. It might be that relationship that's holding you back right now. It might be that job that's holding you back right now. It might be that environment. Like, if I would have stayed in Aurora, I don't know if I would have been the same person I've become in Minnesota. So it might be your environment, whatever. Like, you got to really evaluate what you got going on right now if you want to become the person that you set out to be. You know what I'm saying? So, I can go all day, bro. I'm hoping y'all taking something from this. Like,
so is it almost like motivation, like your past pushing you towards, like, you said, use it as like a propeller almost. Like, so is it almost like motivation for you to keep going? I guess for some people it can look at that way.
Yeah, I think for me in particular, like, I have Aurora tattooed on my arm. Like, Aurora, and my family was mad at me. They're like, why would you tattoo that bogus city on your arm? And I'm like, Aurora is a part of my story. It's always going to be a part of my story. Right. Like, I'm never going to forget where I'm from and what I came from, because now I appreciate the things that I've earned and the life that I'm trying to build for myself that isn't that. But there's also a second part to that. Like, if I ever went back to my high school or my middle school that I went to, there's going to be kids that are sitting in the exact same circumstances that I was in. And it's like being able to go talk to them and give them a blueprint of, like, I was at where you're at, but I am who I am now. Like, if it's education you chasing, like, I'm about to start my doctorate, bro. Like, you don't have to be what is around you or like what it seems like the future is just because you're here. Like, there's so much out there in the world, and I've seen a lot of it. Like, I've been able to travel and like see people doing things, especially like black men, like, that have similar upbringings as me, that are doing things, that are presidents and athletic directors, and you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I'm not gonna see none of that in Aurora. So what's gonna be my inspiration to get there? So I think when it comes to my past, like being a propeller, it's like I think about Aurora a lot because I think about the people that grew up or are currently growing up like me, making sure that they feel like they have a blueprint to get to where they want to get to. I'm not saying they got to replicate my story, but just knowing that, like, I know what it felt like being in that environment and not feeling like there was too much more than like trying to make it to the NBA. If that don't work out, then I just got to stay here and start a family and make money. You know what I'm saying? Versus like generational wealth or starting your own business. Like, being in a college setting too, especially, like, you're around so many people that have different goals and dreams and aspirations, doctors, nurses, dentists, business owners. Like, it's crazy. And then, in my platforms that I've been in, now we talking like multi-million-dollar industries and all of this stuff. Right. So it's like the environment can definitely be a shift. But for me, I think my past really propels me because I know I wouldn't be as sharp or as mature or as strong as I am without Aurora.
And hopefully one of those kids watch this podcast too. Maybe they can take something from you.
Yeah, and it don't even got to be Aurora. Use Aurora as my example for you. Whatever that environment is, if you in a tough spot right now, or you feel like, the environment around you, maybe it's North Minneapolis. You feel me? I know, like, it's similar stuff over there. Like, whatever it is, even if you in the greatest circumstances, you got both parents in your crib, you still probably got goals and dreams that you chasing. So it's not even like this defeat the odds type of story, bro. It's like, you just got to make sure, like, you really do become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Like, the people you spend time with are an influence to you. That's why I surround myself with good people like Javon. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make sure you giving yourself the energy that you want to give off. So whatever that looks like, some people might have to, you feel me? Some people might have to see the chopping block. Some people might be judging you or hating on you or whatever. But those are going to be the same people that are like, dang, bro, like, how did you get into that? I want to get into that too. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to see it through. But sometimes it's tough in the moment.
Yeah, sure. So we talked about sports. Obviously, you have coaches harping down on you. You have parents always telling you what to do. A lot of other people controlling you in the world, right?
Yeah.
as a black male, how do you handle constructive criticism?
Yeah, I feel like we've really entered into this like crash out culture right now.
Right.
And for me personally, I'm a very patient person. And like coaching is the reason, like, especially playing football, I think coaching allowed me to go from being 160 pounds safety, college safety. So I'm trying to tackle 250-pound running backs going full speed.
Yeah.
I'm over here getting trucked, getting hurdled, everything. And being able to like flip that into like being a starter, being a real contributor to the team, you know, like that takes coaching. I could not do that by myself. I need a strength and conditioning coach to help me get stronger. I need my defensive back coach to help me with my technique. You know what I'm saying? Same as life, bro. Like the same as life. Like you need coaches that are going to help you sharpen the skills in the areas that you might be lacking. And that's constructive criticism. I think if even the criticism that doesn't even feel constructive, I take, because some people might just be like, bro, you need to break up with her, or bro, you need to do this and that. But then I reflect and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna take it for what it is, especially if it is coming from a genuine place. Sometimes you can feel that energy of somebody really just hating on you.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think the second part to that is like recognizing what perspective are they speaking from. If you're telling me that, I'll just use relationships to make it easier for people to understand. Like, if you're telling me to break up with so and so because of whatever reason you think, but you're not in a long-standing relationship or married or like have that perspective of like, I know what it's like to be through this, so you need to like look at the red flags. Why would I listen to you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Versus like, bro, I've been married for 25 years with my wife, and you know, this is my suggestion for you to like. And that's the thing. Somebody from that perspective probably wouldn't be like, you need to break up with her right now. They would probably be like, look, these are the questions you probably want to ask. These are the things. So like, I think it's just, when it comes to constructive criticism, it's kind of like this discernment that you got to have with who's giving it to you, but also like take the feedback for what it is. Be like, I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate you looking out. Cut the conversation short if you need to, but it's more about like reflecting, like, dang, like, why would they say that? You know, like, why would they say I need to cut my hair? Why would they say, you know what I'm saying? Like, what, why is this coming up? And then just looking at it from the bigger picture of like, sometimes it's people really just having a heavy opinion, but other times it's people like wanting to see the best for you. You know what I'm saying? They want to see you win. They want to see you grow. They want to see you happy, whatever. And just take it for what it is. But I think as far as like myself, especially like football is like the easiest because there was a night and day. Like I wasn't that guy. I was that guy for a little bit. And then I stepped into a leadership position. So I'm trying to make the next guy that guy. And when it comes to life, it's like the same thing. For my education, I have 2 mentors. I'm starting my doctorate, so I'm not going to go into this without leaning into some people that have experience and have been doing it for a couple of years or like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Higher education. I just started working here a little bit over a year ago. You know how many times I walk up and down these halls asking people like, oh, like, how would you do this program? How could, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta allow yourself to get poured into if you really want to be the best version. And I know like Javon, some other guys, like they ask me for advice. And it's like, I'm giving them tools that I have so that they can give tools to the next person. So if Javon had some freshman come up to him, I'm sure he can give them a ton of free game from being here and getting poured into by me or whoever, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my perspective on like constructive criticism. It's really about the environment and the intention behind who it's coming from.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. I know you talk about being patient too.
Yeah.
Especially like when it comes to taking maybe advice or just other comments from other people, how reacting right away might not always be the safest option. So maybe just taking time to really like deflect and just like think about what's actually happening, why are they saying it, like, and just really just like thinking about what is actually happening at hand too. So I agree with you on that part.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much, man. I got one last random question.
Okay.
Nothing similar to what we talked about really, but when you think back to the good days, right? Like anytime in the past, who was an artist and what is a song that makes you think of a time specifically?
Oh, that's good. Ooh. I would say 2016 Lil Uzi.
Okay.
Now I do what I want. Now I do what I want. Yeah, that was the good times, bro. When I wasn't thinking about bills, I wasn't thinking about nothing. That's one of them, bro. That's probably the first thing that popped in my head. Cause, bro, 2016, I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
Man, we were just having a ball, living, like playing sports, chilling, bumping Lil Uzi after practice and stuff like that. Like, them was the days for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I think for me, I was rocking with YNW Melly.
Yeah,
Melly in high school for me was definitely one of those people where I'm like, okay, I'm bumping this and I'm lit. He had songs with Juice WRLD. I know one of my favorite songs from him was like it was either City Girls or No Heart. But I would every time those play, it's just nostalgia bringing me back and I'm screaming the lyrics now.
Let's go. Yeah, them the days, bro, for sure. Yeah, man. Nah, that's a good question. I don't my boy, if you ever need music suggestions, he done put me on with a lot of artists, so tap me on my boy Javon for sure.
Like I love music, man. Music is like one of my outlets too, so for sure, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Any last shout outs or anything that you want to put out into the atmosphere to the people? Just share, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, all glory to God. Like, I don't do any of this stuff for myself. Like all the platforms I've been blessed with, like I do give to Him ultimately. So really blessed for this opportunity, man, to speak. I'm hoping that y'all hearts are open to get some of this feedback and some of this free game with this platform. And honestly, share this, bro, because you never know who's going through something right now. It could be your moms, it could be your sister, your nephew, your friend, your teammate, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. Like, just share it because you never know who needs it right now. And obviously, we want to give my boy Javon some support. If you watching this, you got to know my man. So, blow it up for him. Like, help him get his platform off the ground as well. The last thing I would say, man, is just keep going. Like, I know sometimes it can be tough. Like, I'm speaking from a lens of somebody that's imperfect. I don't have it all figured out. I'm still learning myself every single day. So just keep going because the moment you give up on yourself is the moment you're going to sell yourself short and never make it to where you want to get to. So just continue to keep yourself motivated in whatever that looks like for you, whatever your motivation is, the reason you get out of bed every day, whatever your why is, lean into that, especially on the tough days. But you got it. For sure.
I appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir.
That's love.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to Livin N Perspective. Again, I'm Javon Coleman. I'm here with DC, a good friend of mine, and I appreciate y'all for listening. May you like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you need to do to help me and this journey just grow, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.